UFC 316 is in the books, and today I'm going to go over the main card participants, the winners, the losers, and we're going to go and make their next fight for them right now, right after the event. Let's go and start with the curtain jerker of the pay per view. We have Vicente Luque taking on Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland with a front choke finish, I believe, is an anaconda choke against Vicente Luque in the second round. A surprise to say the least. I expected this fight to end by KO or strikes. We'll start with Vicente Luque. Interesting spot for him. He is ranked at the towards the bottom of the top 15 at 14. I kinda like the idea. He's probably gonna drop down to, like, 15, maybe even out of the top 15 as Kevin Holland climbs up. Maybe just to keep him in that same range, I say give him Michael Venom Page. Page is looking for a fight. He's gonna come forward, Page is gonna use his counter striking, a little bit of yin and yang there. I think it's a good fight for both of them. A little bit older. They both still got it. We saw that with Luque in his last fight. Put those 2 together, see which one of them could kinda continue to ascend forward. Next up, Kevin Holland. This one's one of the easiest ones to make on the card. He called for it right after before the fight, in the cage, and afterwards. Give him Colby Covington. Kevin Holland's gonna be in the top 15 after this win. Colby's ranked at number 9. Colby is in no position to really pick and choose who he fights. He needs to fight down and try and build a little bit of goodwill to climb back up. So if he accepts and if he looks at it, Kevin Holland's not known as a grappler necessarily. I know he does have quite a few submission wins, but Colby would look at this as a fight he could win. Kevin Holland looks at this as good luck getting a hold of me. I'm going to pick you apart at range. And Colby's getting a lot older and maybe not fully invested in the fight game like he was a few years ago. So that one just writes itself. So that's the matchup for Kevin Holland. Give him Colby Covington and a chance to climb at 170. Next up, we got the bantamweight showdown of Mario Batista versus Patchy Mix. Patchy, who let a lot of bettors down, who were buying into his hype, me included, thought coming into the UFC 21 record, an incredible resume outside the UFC, and some really good fighters on that resume. An absolutely putrid performance from what we were hoping. He looked stuck in the mud, couldn't strike, couldn't move his head. It was just awful. I don't know what was going on there. That is not the Patchy Mix I remember seeing in in his different promotions. That being said, Patchy Mix, I don't want to just give him nobody at the same time. So we're going to stick towards the bottom end of the top 15. Maybe Montel Jackson or Vinicius Oliveira. One of those guys, someone where he's not fighting a no name, but he could fight someone maybe on a prelim, like a second to the main event of the prelims. Just somebody who could, if he's going to make it, it gives him a chance to get his footing. Say he gets a good win, a submission win. Maybe he jumps into 15 and can kind of rebuild after a miserable debut. We've seen other fighters have not great debuts, bounce back and move forward. Let's see if he could do that. As far as Mario Batista, another big win. That's going to catapult him potentially into the. I know he's sitting at 10, maybe into the top 10 deeper. We're gonna have fun with this one. I know Cheeto Vera and Song Yadong have been some of the main rumors for him. We're gonna jump through this. We're gonna give him Umar Nurmagomedov. Umar needs to fight again before he get another title shot. I know Dana alluded to it in the press conference. Maybe him or Corey Sandhagen's next. No, it can't be Umar. He needs to fight again before getting another title shot. Batista is, for lack of better terms, kind of streaking right now. He's a hot name. Give him a chance to climb up there. He showed the ability to hold Aldo against the cage in a very miserable, boring, atrocious fight to watch. And in this one, he showed the ability to move at range, in and out, pick apart, and just decimate Patchy Mix on the feet. Him and Umar, give those two maybe a pay-per-view spot. Not the main fight, but maybe the first or second one on a pay-per-view or the main event of a prelims on a loaded card. Give Umar a chance to bounce back. Give Mario Batista a huge chance to jump forward into a follow-up, maybe number one contender fight after that. That just makes a ton of sense for both of them. Let's go move up the card now. Kelvin Gastelum and Joe Pfeiffer. Another one. Joe Pfeiffer, incredible first round, probably a 10-8 round, and then does nothing the rest of the way. Kelvin Gastelum, he has no business being at middleweight with a waistline with that level of circumference. He probably could fight at 145 if he could just, eat healthily for a week. But that's neither here nor there. Kelvin Gastelum, it's kind of tough to find a matchup for him. I don't want him anywhere near the top 15. So I think a fun idea might give him Bo Nickel. Bo needs to rebound after his fraud check situation. Kelvin Gastelum, tough as granite, well-known name, has been around a long time. It's going to be hard to just wrestle him, so Bo Nickel will have to show advances in his game. He's not going to be able to ice Kelvin Gastelum in one shot, most likely, unless Joe Pfeiffer truly cracked the chin and Augusta win. But the way those shots he took from Joe Pfeiffer, that chin continues to be granite. Kelvin Gastelum and Bo Nickel, a chance for Bo Nickel to bounce back, and Kelvin Gastelum a chance to go against a big name. And we'll see if him and that beer guy can make a big bounce back. But I think that's a good one for both of them. Joe Pfeiffer's in kind of the weird spot where I want to give him someone higher, but after that performance, I can't really give him a top 15 guy. Maybe Mihal Olajushchek Husar. I think that'd be a good fight. They are both bangers. They're both going to throw hands. Husar has 75% of his wins by KO, 15 of his wins by knockout. Only one loss via knockout, so they're going to throw hands. It's a good test. He's 29. Pfeiffer's trying to make that push. This is a very good chance for him to win. And Husar's coming off of a KO victory at UFC 314. So timeline wise, it does kind of match up as well. Gives Pfeiffer a chance to push forward and maybe get into that top 15 and bounce back. Next up, we got to the co-main event, Julianna Pena taking on Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison bulldozing through with the second round Kimura. Freakish strength, my goodness, the way she snatched that arm and it was over almost immediately. Julianna Pena, it's the women's division, bantamweight division's kind of tough. Maybe Ketlin Vieira, Irene Aldana, Eileen Perez, just one of them just needs another fight. She's realistically wins a fight, then she's right back in there in the title picture. It's a very, very shallow division, unfortunately, right now. It was better along. I think it was even better when she was first coming into the UFC back in the early to mid 2010s. But either way, give her just someone that's kind of in that top 10. Kayla Harrison, that fight's already made. It's Amanda Nunes. That's the fight to make. It can make a case it's the biggest women's bantamweight fight since maybe when it was Amanda Nunes and Holly Holm. If not that, then maybe Amanda Cyborg. I know that was a 145, but same idea. 145 was just 135, was Cyborg fighting 135ers for the most part. But the point being, I think it's one of the biggest women's bantamweight fights you can make in a very long time. And that's an incredible matchup. Kayla Harrison gets in. We'll break that one down when it gets announced and closer, but that's an incredible matchup. That one's already made. There should be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. To the main event now, Merab doing it again and doing it better against Sean O'Malley the second time. Sean back-to-back losses to Merab. Merab continues to build his case, very strong case as the bantamweight GOAT. For Sean O'Malley, this is a big question of does he stay at 35 or is he looking to go up to 45? I don't mind the idea of him going up to 45 because I think he'll be able to get a little bit, fill out a little bit more, get a little bit stronger, maybe add a little more pop to him and have less of a weight cut. I always like that idea for fighters like him. And I think he could make some good noise up there. I think there's a couple of fights. One that sticks out if he goes up there, give him Calvin Cater, a boxer. It's going to be on the feet. It's going to give Sean the opportunity to showcase his striking at a new weight class, showcase his speed, which at 135 is incredible. Now you put it at 145, he's going to be like lightning in that division. Or if we want to give him someone a little bit higher, maybe even Josh Emmett at number 10. You know, Josh Emmett is going to bulldoze forward and throw absolute nuclear warheads out of his fists, trying to take off Sean's chin. Gets him a chance to show off the speed, the elusivity, the footwork, and you know he's going to touch Josh Emmett's chin several times. He can crack that one, something that even Elliot Topuria was having trouble with. I think that's a huge feather in his cap at featherweight. If he does decide to stay at bantamweight, I mean, maybe you give him Cheeto Vera again. Let's get the trilogy out of the way. I know he won so convincingly the last time. It's not necessary, but it could just be funny at this point. Or maybe Davison Figueiredo. He's someone in the top 5-6 range. That makes sense, and I think that's a very winnable fight for him too if he can keep Davison at bay. But I do like the idea of him going up to 45 maybe by the end of the year. For Merab, it sounds like they're saying Corey Sandhagen is next. I know I mentioned earlier they alluded to Omar. Let's hope not. Corey Sandhagen makes sense, but we're gonna step outside the box. Assuming he gets it done next month, Alexandre Pantoja versus Merab. That is the fight to make. We need a super fight. We need a champion versus champion fight. Both of these guys have done so much work in their divisions. They have cleaned them out for the most part. Corey deserves it. If they don't want to do that, I understand it. Give Merab Corey no complaints. I do have what does suck is Corey has lost to basically every time he's gotten a number one contender fight, he has lost for the most part. Umar, Aljamain, Piotr Yan. I like the idea of maybe if he is going to get the next shot, that is perfectly fine. Maybe you give him one more fight in the meantime, or maybe you say, hey, you're going to get the next shot. We're just going to put it on ice for a minute. Merab Pantoja is such an awesome super fight. I would love to see that. The tenaciousness of Merab, the technical just superiority of Pantoja, who's also very physically gifted for that weight class. A weight class he's already cleaned out for the most part. Kai Kara France is on a 1-fight win streak, if I'm not mistaken, and he's getting this title shot. That's how you know how this division goes. He has cleaned it out multiple times over. So I love the idea of Pantoja and Merab. But if that doesn't happen, then of course Corey Sandhagen and Merab makes sense. But that's what we're looking at for the pay-per-view main of the pay-per-view winners and losers. And for those of you who did watch our predictions, not our best night betting. We were 2 out of 5 compared to 17 and 20 on the year so far. And I do want to just go ahead and take one moment here. We didn't talk as much about some of the prelim fights. There were some very good ones, or arguably I could say that the prelims set it up perfectly. And one of the big standout performances, Joshua Van, he is back and not taking that much longer either. Per Brandon Royval and Joshua Van themselves, he is going to bounce back after his huge win over Bruno Silva and take on Brandon Royval, the number one ranked flyweight, in less than a month at UFC 317. An incredible fight. Should have been on the pay per view before when it was Manel Cap and Royval. Now, even with Van, I think they need to bump that one onto main the main card of the pay per view. Jerk the curtain on the pay per view. I don't want that on the prelims. That is an incredible fight. That's what we're looking at for the 316 recap. Who they should fight next and what are the next steps? Let us know down in the comments. We want to see these guys fight. Until then, we'll see you all again next time.